this movie quite literally has everything. And it's not like having everything, just having a wish list of things that are going to be in a Bond movie is enough. It has everything, and all of those elements congeal into a very satisfying film. Now,
Yeah.
let me go through that. This movie has everything, and I mean that it has absolutely everything. Every little detail we have gone on and on about Bon nauseum over the last 16 episodes has delivered us up to this point where now GoldenEye steps into the fray with Pierce. It has everything! A rock-steady turn and shoot that hits hard and doesn't falter. Incredible prologue that is significantly significant to the overall pre- and post-Cold War story. Betrayals that make sense and revenge that is motivated. A theme song that has that old-school Bond sexiness like Goldfinger over top of the most incredibly sexy title sequence possibly ever. It's just dripping in sexiness. It's hard to not off to it. Gritty, moody, tone-perfect cinematography that is undoubtedly the best up to this point. You only need go back to our discussion about the Living Daylights prison scene to see exactly what I'm talking about. A killer soundtrack that doesn't just take the theme song and orchestrate the melody, but is instead wholly unique to this film. That there's that very specific instrument. I don't know what it is, and I don't want to know what it is, but a Bond that feels like a continuation of all the Bonds that came before, a man with ice in his veins, living each day and night to the fullest because it could all end at any moment. It's got personal stakes. It's got world-ending stakes. It has a score that is just cool. It's just cool. We haven't had any scores up until now that are just cool. So many fun moments, but never ever goofy and or stupid. A meaningful relationship with the bad guy who has a primo motivation and is active as all hell. Bond engaging in activity that some would call misogyny, but I call awesome. It's got your damn DB5, you Top Gear assholes. Sexually suggestive female henchman name in Xenia Zarevna Onatop, whose name even makes M smirk. And who could believably f*** anybody up with them thighs? Competent and beautiful Bond girl who just marry me. The most perfect answer to f***, marry, kill that a movie has ever provided. And specifically, I'm talking about killing the evaluator. Marrying Natalia
Okay.
and
I knew you liked
Xenia.
Xenia, but Natalia is pretty great.
Yeah, it's like perfect. Practical and fun gadgets. Speaking of which, it has a space laser too that you can believe in. The best Q scene ever with the best Q moment ever.
Don't touch that!
It's got that good baccarat. It's got something of a MacGuffin in the form of the GoldenEye key, but it's not the be-all, end-all of the plot. A bad guy layer and final showdown setting that serves a specific function by replicating the GoldenEye operation station. It's got special effects that hold up because it's mostly done practically and with miniatures and all that. A clever twist on the commando scene trope where we get all the explosions and the chaos without actually bringing in the commandos. It's got Bond getting caught hooking up at the end. It's got satisfying and fitting bad guy deaths. It's both a good movie and a good Bond movie. You feel that he's the same guy we've seen save the world numerous times. And he's gotten older and he's modernizing post-Cold War, ending in a duel between Bond's equal but opposite, much like our two FSs that came before, Francisco Scaramanga or Fran Sanchez. Alec Trevelyan, equal only in 00 status, but opposite in terms of loyalty to the job and to MI6 and England at large. His shadow, the man always asking him if what he's doing is truly for the sake of Her Majesty's government, all the way up until Bond admits that even after saving London and all of England.
No. For me.
Which is by far the most savage killing line yet. It's classy and fun and dangerous and cool and witty and gritty and real and violent and action-packed and adventurous. But above all else, Alec Trevelyan is a member of the Fellowship of the Ring, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Well, it kind of seems like Charlie likes this movie, but from some of the McCurdy faces I was seeing, Maybe not quite as much.
It has everything we've talked about in every episode up to this point. And it all, I mean, like I said, it even has a fucking space laser. It has everything. The only things it doesn't have is it doesn't have Felix.
It's an EMP.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
It's not a laser. It's an
burns things, and
electromagnetic.
What's the difference?
You are looking at an industrial laser, which emits an extraordinary light not to be found in nature.
It's literally a satellite
Charlie.
that's like shoom. You know, it is practically a space laser. You fuckwits.
I get it. I get what you're saying. It's in space and it shoots the things
an
and it
EMP
does.
delivered via laser-looking thing.
I mean, come on. From a plot device perspective, it's no different from Blofeld's space laser.
EMP became like a huge trope in the 90s. Like there were a lot of films after this movie that would be like, yeah, the weapon is not a nuclear, you know, it's not a nuclear bomb or a space laser, it's an EMP and it's going to wipe out all the electrical stuff. And you see it in movies like Broken Arrow and Ocean's 11 and a bunch of other movies after this movie.
Remember, it even came up in A View to a Kill.
Magnetic pulse.
Yes, Minister.
Discovered after Hiroshima.
One burst in outer space over the UK,
Creates a pulse, a radiation surge.
and everything with a microchip in it, from, well, the modern toaster to the most sophisticated computers and our defense systems, will be rendered absolutely useless.
Literally, the only things that this movie doesn't have is it doesn't have Felix Leiter, but instead we get Jack
has Jack Wade.
They wanted to just switch it up. And then it doesn't have Blofeld, but nobody wanted him anyway.
It didn't need Blofeld, but
Yeah.
I think, but